Illness and surgery gave me an ultimatum. It's either I was getting married to my body or I was continuing to neglect it. And there was no third option. And that moment really forced me to switch the way I treated myself. Because we live in a world where consumption is effortless. And that consumption can have devastating consequences. Sugar, junk food, processed food, plus stress, anxiety, depression, exhaustion. It's become our new pandemic. And combine the two of these and you'll definitely cut off on your longevity. In this video, I'm sharing with you the 3 shifts that help me consume more intentionally. Not perfectly, but consciously. Unfortunately, I learned these lessons the hard way. I had to go through a very intense illness in order to change and shift the whole way how I treated my body. And so I just want to avoid that for you. Welcome to my channel. My name is Fabienne and I created this space because I truly believe that what you consume shapes who you become. And yeah, today we're talking specifically about what you eat, what you allow in your body, and how your body reacts to it, and how you can take control over it. The first shift was to accept that my body was not the same. When I had surgery, they removed half of my small intestine and my gallbladder. And so the most, let's say, unpleasant consequence is that I don't have the same capacity of absorbing nutrients. And so I had to get used to that new way of living and learn to, let's say, adapt to that new body. And so eating food, my digestion goes way more quickly. And if I'm not aware of what I'm eating, then I might feel very weak or in risk of dehydration. And so I had to learn to live with this. And at first, it felt very frustrating. I remember really thinking if it would have been better if they took it all out instead of me having to deal with all of that. And yeah, that was just a frustration talking. But eventually, and even if it's been more than a year, I'm still on this learning journey and I'm still experimenting stuff. It's doing way better than it was before, but it was a work in progress for all that time. I also remember that I lost a ton of weight. I dropped a lot of weight. I used to be someone who was very muscular. I did a lot of sports for a lot of years. And this thing had taken, let's say, I think I lost 40 pounds before surgery, 10 extra after surgery. And so all my muscles atrophied and I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, in fact, because I kept visualizing my grandmother on her deathbed, skinny, weak, and yeah, just no strength at all. And that's how I felt at first. But eventually I had to shift my thinking into being grateful for that body that was muscular, because imagine if my body wasn't muscular, then I don't know if I would have had that strength to go over everything that I went through, right? And so even if I lost a lot of weight, then I was grateful that I had that weight and that those muscles, so they were able to carry me through. So instead of thinking that that's not fair or being frustrated about it, I started being more grateful for that body that allowed me to go through it. And so if you are in that situation where you feel that your body is not responding, or it's frustrating, or you grieve an old version of your body, then I would really invite you to just acknowledge what that body was able to carry you through. And if you want to change things, then reach out to some resources. I remember in my end, of course, I had amazing medical staff around me, and my nutritionist specifically, who gave me a ton of advice about how I could go on with this and what's the best for me and how to be able to tackle this new chapter of my life. And it was really, really helpful, because as of today, well, it's going way better than it did right after I had that surgery. So now the role that I have is to learn to live with that new version of my body and to accept this and to be grateful for it. So the scars, they don't remind me of loss anymore. Those scars, they remind me of what I was able to overcome, how I was able to survive, and how strong my body was to be able to go through this. Seeking support led me to that second shift I had to go through, and it has to do with education. Educating myself on how I eat and also on the whole digestion system and my microbiome. I learned a ton by watching a lot of documentaries on it. And what you will realize if you are in that journey also is that sometimes you hear stuff and then you experiment it, and for some reason your body doesn't respond to it the best way possible. And so of course you get that information, and you take from that information, you take what's best for your own body, right? So I remember that right after surgery, I had at least 4 or 5 different people giving me their own views on how I should go at it with eating, with not eating, with what I should eat, with everything. And so at a certain point, you have to focus on what's more important to you and also experiment stuff, see how your body responds. And when it responds well, then you're like, okay, check box. That's great. But when it doesn't, then don't feel bad about it. It's just like a process. Because if you feel bad about it each and every single day, then there's no way you're going to improve along the way. You're just going to be frustrated against your body, and it's not going to help. I realized along the way by learning about the microbiome that one of the mistakes that I used to do before is I used to eat always the same food, like each and every single day, same breakfast, same lunch, almost same dinner each evening. And that is not great for the microbiome because it lacks diversity. And the less diverse it is, then the less armed it is to fight bacterias or diseases, or because it's directly connected to your immune system. And so for me, when these things happen, I remember that when I was eating certain types of things, because I have irritable bowel syndrome, I would just put it on that. And I would not question myself on what I ate, what it did to my body, and why I should keep eating that or not, or stop eating that. Now I only eat food where I know where they come from: fruits, vegetables, nuts, consciously raised protein, and also eat within that 8-9 hour window, and the rest of it I fast. So I've been doing intermittent fasting since I started that prior to surgery. I definitely did that, but right after, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after, I was able to go back to that system because, again, by reading, listening to stuff, documentaries, podcasts, experts, books, I realized that my system, my gut needed some time to rest. And obviously before, I didn't give it enough time to rest. There were people that was telling me after surgery that I should eat just small amounts of food very often during the day, and that would be the best way for me to go at it. But remember that I had lost a lot of fat and a lot of muscles. I was very, very skinny, and so my goal was to gain weight, and definitely this method didn't work for me. And so what helped me actually gained and hold that weight was exercising. With the weight of my own body or with elastics, I was able to see these muscles back that I missed so much right after surgery. And it's a work in progress. I still do that. And also, like my abs, because of surgery, I had I don't even know how to say that in English, but they cut it like right in the middle. And so being able to work on my abs again, it took about 2 months before I was allowed to actually do abs. So I do that regularly now, and I feel better. I feel with a higher energy, and I also feel like more confident. When you like the way you look, when you are confident in your body or your capacity, then it shows. And my posture is also better. Right after surgery, I was always like this, very inward, very protective, as if I was ashamed of the way I looked. And in fact, I think in a way I did. But again, with everything I told you that I've experienced, the people around me, the support I got from my loved ones, especially my spouse, has been tremendously. I'm so grateful that I've had all that type of support of these amazing people that are here to help me and support me the best way that they can. And now I'm proud to say that I've gained 20 pounds back from all the pounds that I had lost from this illness and the surgery, and that I am able to keep that weight. That's a big win. The third shift I had to do was to finally respect my body. I remember that before, discomfort, it became kind of like a background noise. Again, I just blamed it on the irritable bowel syndrome. And so if I would feel bloated, or if I had like stomach ache, or if I was quickly in the bathroom after eating something, I would put it back on that irritable bowel syndrome, and not necessarily identifying it by, this type of food I shouldn't eat, or this type of food don't suit me well, and I shouldn't do that. I should respect my body enough to say, well, this I won't consume anymore, because if I do, then I'm going to have a bad reaction to it. So therefore, right now and forever and ever, I am more careful on what I eat, and also I take notes. So if something doesn't sit well with me, then I take notes that, maybe I shouldn't eat that type of food. And sometimes it doesn't have to be something like very bad or like very greasy or anything like that. Anyways, I can't eat greasy food anymore, and I decide not to consciously, but sometimes it could be like a fruit or something, a certain type of nut. If I eat it and it doesn't sit well with me, then I just don't eat it anymore. And it's just information. I don't tie it up to any type of a feeling of frustration or of, I don't know, regret or anything like that. But it's just that my body doesn't allow it. And so I respect that. So each time now I'm about to eat something, I'm thinking, okay, what is this going to feel if I eat that thing? Especially if it's something that I know it's not going to be good for me, then might as well leave it there. What's the hardest for me right now is that I used to love to eat pizza, but that cheese and that the cheese I can't anymore, and also like the wheat inside of the dough I can't anymore. And I had tried like other types of pizza without wheat or with cheese that's been like vegan cheese or anything like that, but for some reason nothing is really close to that taste of pizza that I used to get. So I'm just learning to grieve it. I'm grieving pizza right now. I'm going through that process. And so, but I know it's for my body's own health and wealth, health and wealth of my body, right? Because if I do eat that, if I give in to that temptation and I do eat that pizza with that cheese and with that oil and with all of that, then I know that my body is going to reject it, and I'll have probably a very bad and sick day or 2 or 3. Bottom line, all these decisions, they accumulate, and it's all small decisions. The compound effect, like Dara Hardy is saying, those little things that you do each and every single day, they either give you more strength along the way or they deplete you along the way. So it's your decision. It's your conscious choice each and every single day. So when you focus on yourself, truly your body responds. There's such a high level of connection between your mind and your body, and it's even more than you think it is. I'm reading a book right now called The Mindful Body from Dr. Ellen, and now I'm forgetting her name. I'll put it on the screen for you. But reading this book makes me realize that we are way more connected to our bodies when our mind is consciously looking for the best way to feed it. And when I say feed it, of course, through this video, we spoke about what you consume, like the food. But again, the food, the emotions, the people around you, your spirituality, your mindset, all of that comes to play. And you are that best person. You are the only person, in fact, who can make a difference by the conscious choices that you're doing each and every single day, because they add up. So the relationship that you have with your body, it's everything. Don't neglect it. Never let it go. Cherish it. It's your life. Now watch my next video called Who You Become When You Stop Chasing Validation. It says it all.